let me start by saying there's a fair amount of confusion about what all of that means. We are doing an individual 401 certification, and we are looking at every stream crossing, or every stream rather. The Nationwide 12, the course permit, deals with temporary impacts for the crossing itself, but the longer term impacts of bank stabilization and all of that is covered by our permit. So there is a narrow area of temporary impacts that the Nationwide 12, the core permit, covers, that we've evaluated, and you know, to the extent that the Corps determines that that each of those crossings is managed significantly or sufficiently by their rules will take care of that. But our individual 401 certification will apply to every stream crossing. It will apply to bank stabilization. And the reason that we're doing an individual an individual 401 certification is because we're able to cover things like karst geology, like water supply, like slides and those kinds of things that we wouldn't be able to cover otherwise. So what you seem to be reading in the press is that we're backing off and we're not not covering everything that we could cover. We believe we're covering everything that we can cover and more than what would be a normal process. It would be legal for us to simply defer to the Corps' nationwide permit and walk away and say we're done with it. We have chosen not to do that because we're concerned about things like karst, things like landslides, things like water supply, things like dust control, that we are able to manage under our individual certification that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So you hit a raw nerve. We are not backing off. We are doing everything that is possible. So to the extent that the Corps' permit sufficiently covers the wetlands impacts and the temporary impacts of a stream crossing, yeah, we're going to use that tool. But we're going way beyond that, and we're looking at and our rules will cover every stream crossing for those things that we're responsible for.
What was the reason for that misunderstanding or miscommunication, or what?
We haven't done this kind of 401 certification for 25 years. 25 years ago, this was the only tool we had. Something like 25 years ago, we got a new state law called the Virginia Water Protection section of the law, and that became sort of our standard 401 certification. And you know, and that's what we've used for 25 years. So, and you know, when we do a Virginia Water Protection permit, a 401 certification, we're usually dealing with a stream crossing or two. And so we've always done it with that tool. That tool doesn't work as well for this. And so we've actually gone back to a tool that gives us broader authority that's not that VWP permit. And our public affairs guy has spent his whole career dealing with VWP permits. And so when they asked him about it, he thought about it in terms of the mechanism that we've used for 25 years. We're using a different tool that gives us more expansive authority, and he just didn't understand that at the time he was asking questions.
Thank you.
David, I saw somewhere in the news media that there were going to be public hearings, I think maybe in August or right in that area.
I believe it's in the August time frame. They're going to be, for ACP they're going to be 3, for MVP they're going to be 2.
Is it possible to have one in this general, in the Alleghany Highlands?
I think all 3 of them are going to be in the general area. Now I don't remember precisely where they are.
The closest is Harrisonburg, which is not really close. by our standards. So,
Okay. Yeah.
If we can
I mean,
get
we're
one,
not having them in Richmond.
if we can have one in the Alleghany Highlands so people can participate, that would be
They're
wonderful.
being organized now. I don't know where the spots are. I have to tell you, we're picking venues that'll allow 500 or more people to be there. We're expecting a lot of public input, and so we're specifically looking for venues that will accommodate everybody, so that we're not using jumbotrons. So that's one of the considerations as well.